Hello and welcome back, and in today's figure battle we have a Gotham City Grudge match, straight from Arkham Asylum. On the left we have the Scarecrow from Figures Toy Company, and on the right, the Joker from Mego's 50th Anniversary World's Greatest Superheroes line. These two companies have been in the unique position of making the same style of figure from the same licensor for several years now. Figures Toy Company was established in the late 1990s, and in 2004 they started creating action figures based on the original Mego style. In 2014 they acquired a license from DC Comics, and since then they have created a number of figures in the Mego style based on original Mego figures, Superpowers, Super Friends, and the Batman '66 television show. After going out of business in the early 1980s, Mego returned in 2018, and since they returned they have also acquired the DC Comics license, creating new figures based on the comic books as well as the feature films. Toward the end of 2022, they started releasing their 50th anniversary DC World's Greatest Superhero figures. And this Joker is part of the latest all-villain wave. Looking at the fronts of the box, on Scarecrow we get an official World's Greatest Heroes logo, while on the Mego box we get the Mego World's Greatest Superheroes logo. Similar cross-sells on this side of the boxes, showing that Penguin and Joker are being produced by both companies, and the cross-sell on the other side shows the Riddler on both, with Reverse Flash being part of the Mego wave, and Mr. Mxyzptlk and Dr. Sivana on the Figures Toy Company side. And here's the back with comic book style artwork, reminiscent of the original 1970s Mego packaging. So is Mego still the king in the 8-inch action figure range, or can Figures Toy Company outdo the original? Let's get these open and find out. Let's start off with Scarecrow, whose first appearance was in World's Finest number 3 in 1941. He's been around for a while. Scarecrow has been a part of DC's media over the years. He was a member of the Legion of Doom and Super Friends, one of the main villains in the Batman animated series, and he appeared in live action in the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy, played by Cillian Murphy. So this is a nice costume, reminiscent of his comic book style outfit. Figures also did a Scarecrow based on the Hanna-Barbera animation model from Challenge of the Super Friends. He's got these ropes all over him, sort of tying him together like an actual Scarecrow. I thought these might be twine at first, but they are actually elastic. So I'm not sure how well these are going to hold up over time. The one big problem I have with this figure is the hat, which is the one accessory he comes with. If you just try to place it squarely on his head, it is entirely too big. So I think that's a glaring issue, that they didn't mold the hat to actually fit nicely on the head. So you have to kind of tip it back like that to see his face, and that means, of course, it is very loose. It can fall off quite easily like that. So that's an issue. Costume looks good all around. The ends of these ties, though, may have been left a bit long. I mean, it's easy enough to cut them, but I think I'll just leave them as is, since I plan on displaying this guy in his box anyway. So you have all the standard Mego style articulation. I've done Mego reviews before, so I'm not going to belabor that point. If you're a Mego collector, you know what I mean by standard articulation. And this figure is several years old now. I believe it was first released in 2017 or 2018. So this is the original style Mego body, which means it's held together inside with elastics. Since then, they have developed a new style Mego body, which does not use the elastics. But as an older figure, this one still does. So that may be a concern over time if those elastics break down. Close-up of the head sculpt. Pretty simple. The Scarecrow doesn't have a lot of detail in his face because he does wear that brown mask over his head to give him that Scarecrow look, to induce fear in his victims, because the Scarecrow's weapon is fear. Batman's arch nemesis, the Joker, who first appeared in Batman #1 in 1940. Probably one of the most famous, most popular, and most enduring villains, fictional villains in pop culture, and an extremely versatile character. Whether he's a conniving crime boss, a manic clown, or an insane serial killer, they are all valid interpretations of the Joker because the Joker represents chaos and insanity to counteract Batman's need for order and justice. I had the original Mego Joker when I was a kid, and this figure is a very nice modern update of that figure. As far as I can tell, the costume is basically the same. His shirt and pants are a one-piece leotard. The coat's a separate piece with the tails, and he's got some brown shoes. And this is the new style Mego body, so this is bandless. And I have to say the joints on this are really, really tight to begin with. These are the tightest joints I've ever experienced on a Mego figure. Probably because it's that new body, and I'm not really used to it. With this new style body, the articulation seems to be a bit more limited, especially in the elbows and the knees, which only can go up that far. So you're not even getting a 90-degree on the knees. So a more durable body, but not as posable as the classic Mego body. But when I was a kid, those classic Mego bodies fell apart all the time. The arms would get loose, the knees would crack, the pins would fall out of the joints. So an upgrade in the construction of the body while you're sacrificing a little bit of the articulation. Here's the close-up of the head sculpt, just like the 1970s original. Very much informed by the Silver and Bronze Age comics. I'd say more Bronze Age than Silver. He's got that long face with the wide mouth and that pointy chin. I knew this was going to be a quick one. There's not much to say about Mego figures. Whether it's the old style or the new style body, the articulation really can't compete with action figure engineering that's more modern, especially since these 8-inch style figures also use cloth costumes, which even further limits articulation in some areas. I think these style of figures are very niche products for certain collectors, most of whom have fond memories of this style of figure from their childhood, as I do. But I guess it's time to pick a winner, so who will it be? The Master of Fear or the Clown Prince of Crime? Well, it looks like Professor Crane now has something else to fear besides the Bat. Both figures were on pretty equal footing with this one, but I have to award the victory to the Harlequin of Hate. I mean, he is the Joker after all. So that's it for this one. Do you agree with the outcome? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.